how's the squad looking for the weekend, Toby? Are there any injury doubts? Any players back in contention?
Think about the contention one. Yeah, so we've got Will Griff back in contention, which is good. We've lost Harry Dees from a HIA point of view, so he'll miss out. I think that's pretty much as we see it. James Fender's pretty sore, so we're going to have to, because he's obviously come back from a long-term injury. He's played 80 minutes back to back, so we need to be mindful of that. So yeah, there's a few little bits of detail around stuff, but in relation to new injury and returning, it's probably as I said. Sorry, there is one more. Ruben Morgan Williams.
He's back, is he?
I knew there was another one. Yeah, he's back.
Fantastic. I think I listened to you saying in your post-match last weekend that you're going to go full strength out in Montpellier. Is that still the case? Yeah,
we'll go with the best we've got for sure. You know, obviously those things force your hand a little bit, but we're not holding people back and doing what we're basically. If people are able and the best team we can put out, we'll put out.
I guess a little momentum will help going into the derbies as well.
Yeah, I think momentum's really key in Block 2. We've spoken about it as a group. You know, it's not been the Block 1's been stodgy to say the least. You know, and for various reasons and elements, and you know, we'll work through those and find a way to do what we need to do in this block. But this block's really important because it sets you up for the last block when you know you want to know where you are and what you've got to do. So from that point of view, the more momentum, positive momentum you can get, both in performance and in results, because I thought not just the result last week was good, I thought our performance was probably the best we've had. So that's encouraging, and you know, if you get competition for places and people back in and playing well, then not just worrying and recovering from injury, you get your best chance.
Jack Morgan was outstanding again, wasn't he? I mean, does he go on the Lions tour, in your opinion?
It's a very competitive position. It always will be. But whoever goes in front of him will have to be something special, for sure. Obviously, you know, he's our captain here, and we select captains around what they do, not just more specifically than what they say. If you think about the people that have gone before him, they're very similar in mould. And it's definitely an Ospreys thing, but to lead by example gives you the authority or the resonance with your group that, you know, I'm doing this, so let's all do that. So yeah, very impressive performance, as you know, as we'd expected. And you know, Jack's come off a autumn international program, had a down week, and rocked out there and produced that when his team and the group needed people to stand up, and that's the mark of how good Jack really is.
I mean, how much did that win boost you after what's been a pretty disappointing first block of the URC? Yeah. Have you noticed a pick-up in camp this week? Yeah. Well, I think, the response to Zebra was great, you know, and that was uncomfortable for lots of reasons that we don't need to go through, but certainly internal, there were certain standard elements in that we were very disappointed with, that we've been very consistent in my time here, but people are human, and you sometimes get those things, and we had to go back and look at the processes and the mentality that we require to perform well, not just the outcome. So we did that, and to a person, not just the 23 but the non-23, the people that helped produce the performance, the team, prepare the team, everyone had a very strong recalibration, shall we say, and the Lions' performance came on the back of that. So you know, this game will always teach us what we should already know. Just the 4 pool matches then in the Challenge Cup. I mean, you're in a great position now. You've already got that win under your belt heading out to Montpellier this weekend. And what are your experiences of going out playing in France? I mean, do you enjoy the atmosphere out there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's quite can be quite volatile, which is good actually. There's a lot of raw emotion. I've always enjoyed going to France and playing in these games, and you know, there are no uncertain terms. You're let to know what everyone thinks, the referee included, you know, so it's all part of it and the theatre of it, so that's exciting. You know, obviously if it's decent conditions. Normally a decent game sort of comes out of it. There's not too much, 6-3s in French rugby, which is good, and that will suit us, and we'll enjoy that contest. But the boys are excited, and I think there's some of the players' families are going out. My family went out to Italy. The URC provides opportunity for you to, have unique experiences, and I think the European competition does that, within a different competition, but also there's a different feel to it. So I think, any time you get an opportunity to test yourself against the best in the best arenas, it's good to do so.
Couldn't really judge Montpellier by their performance against Dragons. I mean, shocking conditions. They didn't really bring their best team, but I bet you'll be facing their big guns this weekend. Yeah,
I think that it's fair to say, everyone knows that teams from France that travel away sometimes are a little bit different to what they play at home, prioritise different things. Obviously, where the top 14 is so important to the French teams that we know. But they had a good run in Europe last year, like we did. They took it seriously. They certainly take it serious at home. Very proud team, very well-resourced team. We're expecting the stiffest of challenges.
What are their threats, their main threats, this Montpellier team? Where will you be looking to neutralise them?
Well, they're big, that is for sure. They're big and collision fit, so we need to be smart around that. I think the way to negate that, that advantage is potentially to approach the game, but also not go set piece to set piece or stop and start. So one of the things that we want to be better at is we probably were guilty last week of a few too many penalties that could be avoided and a few errors that we could have avoided. So if we can smarten our own game up a little bit and be a bit more clinical and a bit more accurate, that will probably negate some of their opportunity. But they're going to get opportunity, and in those difficult moments we're going to have to suffer in a positive way, because you have to be very, very good and very determined, like we were last weekend, in order to stop good sides doing what they want.
You said that Ruben Morgan-Williams is back in contention. I mean, him and Kieran Hardy, that's a great battle for the scrum half starting shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just add, I think Luke Davis has been very good off the bench as well, to be fair. He's a young player that's growing every time we put him out there, and having competition for places right the way across the piece is massively important. Ruben's been a mainstay in my time here for sure, and he's a player that I trust very much in his performance and his competitiveness. And Kieran's obviously come back off a bit of an injury, and obviously he's learning the Ospreys way a little bit, which will be different to where he's been before. And he's playing his way into a bit of form, and that'll be it. But the fact that they're pushing each other with Luke behind them is good, because you get the best out of, or they know they have to be at their best in order to keep the shirt. And there's no reputation element for us. It doesn't matter if you're an international or not. If you put an Osprey shirt on, you have to deliver a certain amount of performance and a certain amount of effort, and that's the most important thing, and then we can judge people on what they actually produce.
And last one then, Adam Beard is a name that's been strongly linked to Montpellier when he's out of contract at the end of the season. Do you think that would be a good move for him?
Well, he's not travelling with us this week, so no. I think that we understand, and I've said this before about other players when people have asked me about players moving on, George North before, and people have asked me lots of these questions, especially your high profile players. Adam Beard's an extremely important part of the Ospreys machine, if you like, for one of a better phrase, and we've built a lot of the good stuff that we do around him, and we treasure him very much. But Adam Beard has to do what's right for him and his family, and the position he is in his career. And he has the advantage, if he does move on, to go and return and still play for Wales, which is important, just like Nicky Smith before him. And unfortunately, money talks, and that's just how it is. It's not an Ospreys thing, it's not a sentiment thing, it's just a short career thing. And if that opportunity comes along and that you feel it's right for you, and it doesn't feel right for everyone, but you want to give it a go, you can go for a 2-year sabbatical, come back.